Hi there, Blender folks. Welcome to another Blender walkthrough speed through tutorial. So today we're going to be making, or rather recreating, this cool looking Curren watch. I really love this watch, and I thought, why not recreate them in Blender? And so yeah, these are the results. But feel free to let me know what you think about them in the comment section below. So let's get into it. Like most of my projects, I begin with reference images because they make the work a lot easier. So in this case, I just added a plane, and then I just shaped it into a rectangle kind of shape. There you can see for that circular ring inside the watch there. And then I just added an array modifier to that rectangle shape I did, and then I added a curve for the an array for the array modifier to follow. And then that's what I did. Then I just apply those modifiers so that I can manually adjust some of those shapes there, just to get them in order. And then I did the same for that outer loop there for the other curved rectangular shape, if that's a rectangular shape. So yeah, and I did the same thing. I added an array modifier to the shape, and then I added a curve and applied that, and then I applied all the modifiers there so that I can manually adjust them where they didn't fit quite well, as you can see that I'm doing there. So this was the quickest way I thought I could achieve this, because these shapes I'm gonna use to or rather use the boolean modifier from a circle shape that I'm gonna add just now, and then remove them using the boolean modifier. That was the easiest way that I thought I could get that shape, as you can see there I'm doing. And then yeah, I just used the boolean modifier just to remove those shapes that I did, and then I got that shape there. And then I did that I just added a circle there for that inner kind of like gravel texture there. Then I just hid it away, and then now I added another plane to model the kind of goggles shape, that inner metal there. As you can see, I'm just going through around the reference image. I always find it easier to use reference because they guide you to create whatever you're creating, right? So yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing as with the other shapes. I'm just going through the image and just finding the shape, just getting out the shape. I'm basically using the same tools, same thing, the same process. It's nothing too fancy there. Then I just added a subdivision surface and some more edge loops to the object just to make them more sharp. And you can see I'm working quite fast because I don't like making long tutorials, but this was quite it kind of took a while to finish all the components on this model, or this watch rather. And then yeah, I'm just continue the process of creating, because as you can, this is just a unit comprised of small other small units, small stuff combined to form something bigger. In this case is a watch. So I'm continuing to make each individual piece. And then here I was modeling, rather creating those things, the is it gold? Yeah. And I used the same process that I did in the beginning here, where I just added an array and then added a curve to follow it, applied that, and then adjusted where I needed to. And then here I'm just adding the text. Now for the time, yeah, I was just testing the kind of different fonts that works. I couldn't quite find the actual one that is used on the watch, but I thought those were okay. And then here I was recreating the bolt, as you can see on those, yeah, where I'm placing them. You see, that's where I needed to place them. So yeah, so there's nothing major that I'm doing. I'm just following on the reference image, trying to get the shapes that I'm looking for. And then here I was creating those shapes there you see at the top, and always following the image. I didn't really quite stick to the actual image. I kind of, went free form somewhere, just doing it with another style, my own style. And then there I was just adding another text for the Curren, the Curren logo or trademark, whatever may you. So I continue to adjust where I needed to and adding the shapes that are needed to be added there. And you can see continue creating the shapes where I needed to. So I think the entire video, it kind of took a while, maybe about an hour or so. So of course I didn't want the entire video to be an hour. That's why I just sped it up so that it could be shorter. But hopefully you don't get lost. It's the same things that I'm doing, like in the previous tutorial when I was doing the sword. I was basically using the same tools, the same process, just extruding, just using the reference image guiding me to create the shape or whatever shape I may be creating in that instance. So yeah, and you can kind of see that these are all individual parts here that are just gonna come together to form one unit. And then here I will continue to create the separate objects. Here I was just creating the pointer or whatever, the arrow, and then just using the shape of the reference just to go through that. I don't when I create my personal stuff, like this is more of a personal things. I don't normally go into or think much about creating the perfect geometry. You can see I'm just quick building each object here. But if you were to do a more of a client work, you might want to spend some more time checking that your meshes are okay and trying to align the mesh to be nice looking. Even if you don't, clients don't normally like go into edit mode and stuff like that and see the kind of geometry that is beneath this, you still want to create that because it's a pay thing, if it is a pay thing also. But if it's just a personal project like I'm always doing, I don't normally go much into that, because I'm always creating personal projects. You will see later where I'm reusing some of the things that I did before to to use them in this project. So I'm always creating stuff, and I always try to work fast because there's a lot that I want to create. I was trying to create a show not long ago, and it's still in the process, but it's a lot of work. So if you try to do something like that, you want to work faster, if you don't have any help. And like I did not have help, so I try to work fast in everything that I do. And since I don't work with other people on my projects, I don't normally go much into creating the perfect geometry. But if you were to do something for someone, especially a mesh that is gonna deform and all that, you would want to spend more time. So yeah, so I'm more of a mass of a mass rather than quality. I'm more on quantity. It depends on what I'm doing, but if I'm doing more of a client work, I'll spend more time in creating a nice looking geometry object. And so yeah, so here I just did the belt. You saw that I was just continue to follow the reference image. Like I said, it will be your best guide, and then just copying the text and the logo there and reusing some of those things that I did, like the bolts. And then here I kind of ran into a little bit of a problem trying to use the boolean. It wouldn't remove some of the letters there, and you can see I tried a few times, but it just wouldn't work. I don't know if I should have subdivide the object a little bit more or what, I don't know. So I just tried a few times, but it didn't kind of work the way I wanted to. So I just ended up leaving it like that. So yeah. And then here I did the other belt quickly. You can see I'm already done there, just to make the video a lot smaller. So yeah, I think it was okay. Just visualize it. Okay, I was just trying to see what is missing and what. Then I just continue to add some of the stuff like the text that you see. Added the text, copied and all that, reusing the text. Yeah, I would usually pause. Maybe I was getting a drink or so. So I would come back and continue just to add the text and move it around and adjust it as needed. But I think I'm always this thing of me speeding through. I think I should just uh, on the next tutorial maybe create something a little bit easier so that for those who want to maybe follow on what I'm doing, maybe let's just try to do something much simpler so that maybe we can follow. I don't know. You can leave a comment on the section. If you want me to do some more simpler shapes so that maybe you can follow, because I see that here when I'm speeding through you can't actually really follow. Maybe you might wondering how I did something and all that. So if you want to see more of the of a tutorial that you maybe want to follow, maybe a beginning Blender and all that, because I haven't I haven't been doing Blender for that long, maybe 3 years now. I've been into this. So if maybe you are beginning to learn about modeling and all that, and you want to see me do maybe basic stuff and all the tools, you can leave a comment in the comment section below so that maybe you can do a simple thing where you can follow rather than me just speeding through the entire video like this, because it might be hard to follow. So here I just finished all those components, and then I was just moving to texturing here. I generally start by using simple shapes. I mean, like primary colors, as you see there, just to kind of see what looks like what before I can go and try to make it look cool like you see in the intro. So I just began by assigning the colors using the reference to see what colors were where and all that, and what looks okay and what does not. So yeah, and continue to add the colors and all that. So if you are recreating an object, so it's always best to use a reference image. You work faster, you don't have to think much. Even if you want to create something of your own, you would want to start maybe by kind of drawing some blueprints and all that, so you don't have to think hard. So don't just jump into the modeling process. So here you can see I just imported some of the textures that I normally use from another project, but again I'll show you this if you want to know how I did those. I can show you in another tutorial also. I generally use those textures a lot, so that's why I usually have them somewhere, and then I can just import them. It's a good thing, always store some material somewhere so that when you need them you can easily just get them somewhere. Like I was saying earlier, that I have another project that I was working on, which is this an animation that I'm working on. I just needed a glass texture somewhere, so I knew that I had a glass texture somewhere. Then it was on that micro oven there. You can see the glass, the white thing that I selected there. So I just copied that, and then here you can see the project that I'm working on. You see, in these kind of things, you would want to work faster. That's why I'm always trying to work faster rather than me trying to create perfect geometry and all that. So I brought in the microwave oven in this case, and then I just used the texture for this, for the glass there. And you can see there's a glass. So yeah, but then again, I'll create a separate tutorial for just me creating all these textures that I normally use. Like on the leather, you can see I copied another texture from that project, and then yeah, you can see all of these things are separate objects. And then here I was just trying to parent them to one object that I can control, because now I have to move each object separately, and that can be a drag. So you want to kind of have one thing you can select that will move the entire thing without a hassle there. So that's what I did there. So here I forgot that I hadn't done the staging, so I just tried to add a stage. And the same process that I used in the beginning, where I just added an object, and then I did an array and added a curve to follow, is the same thing that I'm doing here to do the stages. So yeah, then I'm just trying to align those so that they're okay. And then when I'm done on one side, then I can just copy to the other side. Since the belt has a mirror, it will automatically copy to the other side. So here I was done, and then yeah, I just made the pillow like thing there just for the watch. Then yeah, that was it. Hopefully you enjoy this tutorial, and let me know what you think of the watches. And yeah, I think it was pretty okay. It's not bad. So no, let me know what you think of this Curren watch that I did here, and whatever you might want to see next. So see you next time.